Alright, man, I just want to start off this rating by saying I appreciate the support. The views is going up. Of course, if you subscribe, just helps my channel out, so I appreciate it. Alright, man, let's get into it.
And this gon' put us on, yeah, yeah. And this gon' put us on. For everyone who said I wouldn't make it, give it to me, so I gotta take it.
I've been delaying this rating because, to be honest, I think I'm way too biased to judge M's discography for the sole reason that I'm a stan.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
The Slim Shady LP fell into my lap as a spring chicken. Already influenced by Tupac, Biggie, and Cash Money Millionaires. The Slim Shady LP was given to me by a local DJ in my neighborhood. The Vicodin on the disc piqued my curiosity. It just looked like something I shouldn't be listening to, so I wanted to listen to it. It was taboo, it was dark, and I loved it. Since that day, I've been a fan, and I've followed M's career in awe of the ascent to the top of the charts and into the echoes of every top 5 conversation being had amongst hip-hop enthusiasts. This is my rating. Coming in number 16, D12's World, released April 2004. Out of 21 tracks, 9 was bangers. That's 42% of the album. And the bangers are Get Up, My Band, 6 in the Morning, How Come, Get My Gun, Bitch, American Psycho 2, Good Die Young, Keep Talking. And my standout track is Good Die Young.
They say that the good die young, so I think that you should have fun.
Everybody stepped the bars up on this project. It's a far cry from D12's debut album Devil's Night, given the subject matter is more personal as well. And How Come is a record that offers the kind of transparency that you will never hear from a hip-hop group due to the personal backlash from fans and sensitivity amongst men, to be honest. I can read between the lines and pinpoint the struggles amongst all members. There is so much irony in the track My Band.
I think everybody's all jealous because I'm like the lead singer of the band, dude.
Because later in M's career, he'll admit that there was in fact tension amongst the group.
Almost as if sometimes we're not even friends, and the rappers I wish that we would have politic with.
And he felt he could have done more to propel D12 into a more consistent entity. And Conniva on Get My Gun had me like. Coming in number 15, Shady compilation album. Released November 2014. Out of 12 tracks, 6 was bangers. That's 50% of the album. And the bangers are Psychopath Killer, Die Alone, Y'all Already Know, Guts Over Fear, Right For Me, Detroit versus Everybody. And my standout track is Psychopath Killer.
Psychopath, I'm a killer.
This compilation album is a celebration of the 15th anniversary of the Slim Shady LP.
My name is.
Hence the X standing for 10 and V standing for 5 Roman numerals. Just a heads up, I only rated the disc X because it contains unreleased tracks delivered in an album format. Disc V consists of 15 re-released greatest hits, so for obvious reasons I didn't include it. M had free reign to just spaz on the beat, and he definitely took advantage. And to be honest, that's where Eminem is most pleased. Therefore, you're going to get lengthy verses and elaborate rhyme schemes. Also, as an advertising instrument, M dropped a series of freestyles called the Shady Cypher, featuring Royce and Slaughterhouse, and it'll knock your f***ing socks off.
When I pull it, it sound like a couple of bullets are coming your way, then they jam like goddamn. Then I pick up something quick.
And my peers giving them cries for help. I guess they need to see the tears. Wait.
The Lord and the God hate me. Jesus Christ, I am the white devil.
Sandusky. With the shit that my Penn State, these rappers can't touch me.
Hardest arm, Christy Mack, cause this bitch is that war machine. Your lips on my ass, I'ma be literally picking up and deliberately whipping the Statue of Liberty at you. Woo!
On Guts Over Glory, M deliberates on his lack of motivation due to life being simpler and less painful.
There's nowhere else that I can go, it flows and I'm frozen, cause there's no more emotion for me to pull from.
He also covers wanting to continue giving in-depth, heartfelt records versus light-hearted commercial songs.
Just a bunch of playful songs that I make for fun. And here I go, recycling the same old song. But I'd rather make Not Afraid to than make another motherfucking We Made You.
Either way, the pressure is always there to please a certain demographic. Bouncing in at number 15, Infinite, released November 1996. Out of 11 tracks, 6 was bangers. That's 54% of the album. And the bangers are Infinite, It's Okay, 313, Open Mic, Never Too Far, and Backstabbers. And my standout track is Infinite.
You heard of hell when I was sick from it. I went to it serving a sentence for murdering instruments.
Released through WEB Entertainment in partnership with the Bass Brothers.
And I was listening to the radio, and this guy here, Slim Shady, yes, this son of a gun.
Infinite sold only 1,000 copies. Too discursive to absorb, M committed a common offense amongst MCs, which is overwhelming the audience with exorbitant wordy lyrics, rhyming each syllable in excess, like violent and tyrant, and I went inside it and decided I'm a hybrid. You get the point.
You know what I mean?
He just had too much want to prove ability versus dumbing it down a bit and rolling out the concept slowly to tell your story.
The beat commit so I can beat the sense in your elite defense. I got some meat to mince, fruit is stomping into feet to rinse.
It's a structure issue. It causes clutter, and lyricists won't realize it until they receive negative public feedback. M was no exception. This is pre-Slim Shady, the snarky, witty artist we have all grown to cherish. What you hear on this debut project is a man untouched by the bitter bug, unaware of the cruelty of the same industry that is not ready to accept a white rapper who wants to spread a positive message, if at all. He doesn't know it yet, but he's about to see that playing nice doesn't get you on the field. Rolling in at number 13, Music to Be Murdered By, released January 2020. Out of 36 tracks, 21 was bangers. That's 58% of the album. And the bangers from side A are Premonition, Unaccommodating, You Gon' Learn, Those Kind of Nights, In Too Deep, Godzilla, Leaving Heaven, Stepdad, Marsh, Lock It Up, No Regrets, I Will. And my standout track is I Will.
Thought I heard a voice in my head that said kill. I had no other choice that was left except Phil.
Side B bangers are Book of Rhymes, Favorite Bitch, Guns Blazing, Nat, Higher, These Demons, Killer, Zeus, Discombobulated. And my standout track is Guns Blazing. Playing on the tape deck days, where old school rappers had an A side and a B side, M releases this 2-disc presentation, putting the game on notice of a persistent Eminem, more so channeling Shady on this project. I heard exceptional bars and no holds barred lyrical slaughter of beats.
Individual criminal in your swimming pool.
And I gotta say, M is not coming off that Revival flop.
Revival flop came back and I scared the crap out of him.
It's an insecurity for sure, but this album is the kryptonite for any haters that say he lost it or fell off. Cap. He's back and still on top. Shout out to M for recognizing that Young M.A. had a crazy flow and embracing the up-and-comers.
I'm in cake mode, I'm in brave mode. What up, Marshall? I'm a Martian, I'm in Wayne mode. Monster, you get in my way, I'ma feed you to the monster.
And as a fellow petty king, I can appreciate the record Leaving Heaven when M addresses his absent father who passed away in June of 2019.
Should I feel upset? You were dead to me before you died. Me, tear no shed.
Death for some may be a closed chapter. I'm just too trifling for that. What? I'm in therapy. Side B is all bars and no bite. You'll discover a few hit records, but you will mostly come across some meticulous wordplay and edgy beat selection, coupled with unpredictable cadence and word arrangements.
My thoughts are like nines cocked. Every line's obscene, perverted. His mind got the dirtiest rhyme stock.
Coming in at number 12, Marshall Mathers LP2, released November 2013. Out of 16 tracks, 13 was bangers. That's 81% of the album. And from the bonus disc, out of 5 tracks, 3 was bangers. That's 60% of the album. And the bangers are Bad Guy, Rhyme or Reason, So Much Better, Survival, Legacy, Asshole, Berserk, Rap Guy, Brainless, Stronger Than I Was, The Monster, Headlights, Evil Twins. And my standout track is Bad Guy. And from the bonus disc, the bangers are Baby, Beautiful Pain, Wicked Ways. And my standout track from the bonus disc is Wicked Ways.
I'm getting by with my wicked ways. I'm loading up.
Of course, as I mentioned, this album contains a bonus disc with 5 unreleased tracks, and I actually bought this CD in 2013 and the packaging was exquisite. It had a smooth finish on the paperback cover with minimal plastic casing and a hidden flap with exclusive pictures of Eminem at his old home in Detroit and studio sessions with Dre and Rick Rubin. If you were honestly expecting a continuation of Marshall Mathers LP like I did, then you're not going to find it here in regards to the same shock value, beat selection, or even the same lyrical content of an inebriated Eminem. However, what you will get is a masterpiece of a sober, reflective, cognizant Marshall with so much wisdom and experience to share. He really has his wits about him on this project, and he did not disappoint at all. Records like Bad Guy, Legacy, Stronger Than I Was really sets this album apart from M's entire discography. There's a story being told in the songs mentioned, and Marshall has a way of putting you in a capsule and launching you into his world and discerning his feelings and experiences.
I bike ride through the neighborhood of my apartment complex on a 10-speed, which I've acquired parts that I find in the garbage.
Trudging in at number 11, Revival, released December 2017. Out of 19 tracks, 12 was bangers. That's 63% of the album, and the bangers are Walk on Water, Believe, River, Remind Me, Like Home, Bad Husband, Tragic Endings, Framed, Nowhere Fast, Need Me, Castle, and A Rose. And my standout track is Bad Husband. Revival is a personal account of M's psyche given all circumstances and expectations. A synopsis, if you will, from the overpass. As humble as M attempts to be on this project, the result is truly a byproduct of being in legendary status for so long that his perspective could never be a fair assessment. But in respect to the ambiance of this project, M definitely grants full transparency in delivering a political message, as well as an openness that is very vulnerable in nature. Of course, you got the jovial slapstick comedy records. I guess M just couldn't help himself.
I can't lie!
And who the f is cutting onions every time I hear A Rose?
You put your arm around mama to calm her. Wow, I just thought about the aisle. I'll never get to walk his down.
Sliding in at number 10, Recovery, released June 2010. Out of 19 tracks, 13 was bangers. That's 68% of the album. And the bangers are Cold Wind Blows, Talking to Myself, On Fire, White Trash Party, Going Through Changes, Not Afraid, Seduction, No Love, Spacebound, 25 to Life, So Bad, Love the Way You Lie, and Untitled. And my standout track is 25 to Life. The original release had 16 tracks, but there was one hidden on the album.
Now here we go. Get up, baby, get a move on.
And an iTunes Deluxe release of 2 bonus records. Just FYI.
Down low. No doubt.
Talking to Myself sums up the leave of absence from 05 to 09 with the release of Relapse.
Admit you got a problem, your brain is clouded, you pouted long enough. It isn't them, it's you fucking baby.
He goes on to say he needed to stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and just do Shady. So the wrap up is writer's block, insecurity with the pen, and addiction. With Release being the metaphorical purge, this album would be the rehabilitation of Marshall. The hidden message is the 12 steps to recovery: acceptance, hope, faith, courage, honesty, patience, humility, willingness, brotherly love, integrity, self-discipline, and service. Given that my rating is for the overall goal of M's discography, I won't go into grave detail as to the representation of each step, but spend a block on this and you'll hear the accuracy in my theory. Coming in at number 9, D12, Devil's Night, released June 2001. Minus the skits, out of 13 tracks, 9 was bangers. That's 69% of the album. And the bangers are Pistol Pistol, Nasty Mind, American Psycho, Purple Pills, Fight Music, Pimp Like Me, Devil's Night, Revelation, Girls. And my standout track is Girls.
It's so easy for me to make enemies anymore, it's sickening. People are looking for an excuse to jump on my shit list.
D12 was a breath of fresh air for raunchy rap fans in 01. M opened the door for edgy lyrics, and then D12 kicked it down. Doubling up on Eminem's sentiments, D12 had capabilities that far extended lyricism.
I think my arm is gone. Y'all's probably numb, young, dumb, and full of, and I think he about to swallow his tongue.
They brought a comedic presence, a wow factor of eccentric characters such as Bizarre, who would convey a strange offbeat style, coupled with lyrics that, quite frankly, left you disturbed.
I ain't in the S&M, but I love when you beat me. I told you I was a horny ass freak. While I'm beating my meat, your daughter acting like she's asleep.
I always imagined D12 opening up for Slipknot or Marilyn Manson. Due to the group's grisly concepts and somber instrumentation. Bouncing in at number 8, Kamikaze, released August 2018. Minus the skits, out of 11 tracks, 8 was bangers. That's 72% of the album. And the bangers are The Ringer, Lucky You, Normal, Stepping Stone, Not Alike, Fall, Good Guy, and Venom. And my standout track is Stepping Stone.
Back down, I may end up running back into them all.
Kamikaze is a not so subtle reminder that Marshall is still one of the greatest to ever put pen to the paper. The Bruce Lee of loose leaf.
The Bruce Lee of loose leaf.
As expected, M wasn't too pleased with the current scenery of rap in 2018 with the choppy flows and the mumble rap style.
Do you have any idea how much I hate this choppy flow? Everyone copies, they'll probably know. Get this fucking audio out my audio.
This opinion isn't a rarity for lyricists to express discernment of modern music. Since the birth of hip-hop, conceptual bars were always the primary value, and I think it quite frankly pisses M off that lyrical content isn't the main focus anymore, and he's not alone in this assessment. However, I would argue that although MCing is not a top priority anymore, it's still very much cherished and isn't dying out at all. Hip-hop fans have just expanded their palettes for other flavors and genre, and there needs to be an embrace versus disdain and resistance. Onward, this album was also the start of a beef with MGK.
It's only one option. You gon' need a doctor. I ain't talking about the one from Compton. Popped in on the top charts at the cop card. So remind y'all, you just rap, you not gods. It's only one option. You gon' need a doctor. I ain't talking about the one from Compton. Popped in on the top charts at the cop card. So remind y'all, you just rap, you not gods.
Along with a comment on social media by MGK.
I'm a wild boy. I'm a wild boy.
This was enough to gain M's attention and set off 2 bullet trains headed for collision.
Finger bang, chicken wang, MGK, Igaze, Lil Pump, Lil Xan, imitate Lil Wayne. I should aim at everybody in the game, pick a name.
Although it's not a direct diss, it's a slight at Machine Gun Kelly because he groups him with rappers that are not lyrically elite, and I can assure you, Kelly is definitely superior to the names mentioned. Apparently he wasn't done, so he dedicates an entire verse to the Cleveland rapper with most notably, Not Alike.
And I'm talking to you, but you already know who the fuck you are, Kelly.
And I'm talking to you, but you already know who the fuck you are, Kelly. They know who the fuck you are, Kelly. Kelly.
Shortly after releasing The Ringer and Not Alike, direct shots ensued.
We put a fucking silencer on this little non-threatening blonde, very cornball taking shots at me.
Man up and handle your shit. You mad about something I said in 2012? Took you 6 years and a surprise album just to come with a diss?
Thanks for dissing me. Now I had an excuse on the mic to write Not Alike, but really I don't care who's on the right. But you're losing the fight you pick.
They told me you mad about a tweet. You wanted me to say sorry. I swear to God I ain't believe them. Please say it ain't so. The big bad bully of the rap game can't take a fucking joke.
Little white toothpick thinks it's over a pick. I just don't like you, prick.
You dropped an album just because of me. Damn, you in love with me. You got money, but I'm hungry. I like it this, but you won't say them lyrics out in front of me.
Gonna bitch, you ain't a bow and arrow. Say you run up on me like a phone bill. Spraying lead, playing dead. That's the only time you hold still.
This isn't anything new to me. Yeah, there's a difference between us. I got all of my shit without Dre producing me.
This idiot's boss pops pills and tells him he's got skills. But Kel's the day you put out a hits. The day Diddy admits that he put the hit out, they got pop kill, ah?
They both dropped heat and no one threw the last punch. So I'm still waiting for the last round. Coming in at number 7, Bad Meets Evil, M and Royce duet album. Released June 2011. Out of 11 tracks, 8 was bangers. That's 73% of the album. And the bangers are Welcome to Hell, Fast Lane, Above the Law, The Reunion, Lighters, Take From Me, Living Proof, Echo. And my standout track is The Reunion.
Most of you ain't really like that. Oh, putting on a show is your mic at.
This is an EP that was a callback to the song Bad Meets Evil from the Slim Shady LP.
Cause this is what happens when bad meets evil. And we hit the trees till we look like Vietnamese people.
Yes, a 12-year summon.
One eternity later.
The reason for this highly anticipated delay is, well...
It's not about money with me no more, man. Like, that's my motherfucking dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't my manager, he my man.
Royce was Eminem's hype-up man. Royce the 5'9" was the first priority to come out.
Eager to establish himself as an MC, Royce was having a difficult time working himself into the protege system under Eminem.
M took steps to put us on, so that respect and that love will always be there. But we're our own men. You know, we eat off our own plate.
M asked me, said, yo, Royce, could you finish this tour out with me? Royce is like, well, no, man, I gotta start my record. Tommy Boy just signed me, said and such. He totally flipped the script.
They did a Green Lantern mixtape. I submitted them a freestyle verse. For some reason, they listened to the verse and felt like I was dissing them. Fuck anger management. I need somebody to manage my anger. And he took that as I was saying, fuck the anger management tour.
If you cool with him, why would you put something in there and make the man even think that it's a diss?
He said, fuck anger management. Anger management is the name of Eminem's tour. Bottom line.
M was supposed to be upset. He said I'm not talking to Royce, period.
Next day, my man got on the radio and was talking shit.
He had diss songs on us.
He got like 15.
Like, right, in the vault. While we were still giving each other plays and shit, like, what up, though, man?
Honest Swifty, please, give it a year. Both of y'all be ranking 50s leads.
Whoever fight me gonna feel like they fight Roy Jones.
He said he's boxing like Roy Jones. We was there in 5 minutes.
That night, I get a call. D12 just jumped your friend.
The beef dissolved itself, and although D12 never quite hopped on board with Shady's decision to squash the beef and assist with Royce's career, it's irrefutable that Royce and M bring out the best in one another. Coming in at number 6, Relapse Refill, released December 2009. Out of 9 tracks, 7 was bangers. That's 77% of the album, and the bangers are Forever, Elevator, Taking My Ball, Music Box, Drop the Bomb, My Darling, Careful What You Wish For. And my standout track is Music Box. I am coming to you hat in hand to inform you that I did not know about this cryptic release bonus. Apparently, Eminem recorded so many album-worthy songs that he couldn't place them all on one project, so he created this follow-up album. Careful What You Wish For was an unreleased track that was recorded shortly after his best friend and fellow D12 group member Proof's death in April 11, 2006.
So this is it. This is what I wish for. Just isn't how I envisioned it. Fame to the point of imprisonment.
It's a lyrical purge of the feelings and emotions since the passing of Proof and an intolerable amount of attention and fame post-encore that as a result enslaved M to his own celebrity. With little coping skills, M developed an addiction to sleeping pills and alcohol. Although rumored to be sober today, Shady was a product of narcotics and vodka. This bumpy road has been traveled by many influential artists, unfortunately. Everyone deals with the spotlight in a different way, both negative and positive.
Message!
Dipping in at number 5, Marshall Mathers LP, released May 2000. Minus the skits, out of 14 tracks, 11 was bangers. That's 78% of the album. And the bangers are Kill You, Stand, Who Knew, The Way I Am, The Real Slim Shady, I'm Back, Marshall Mathers, Amityville, Kim, Under the Influence, Criminal. And my standout track is Kim. Sophomore albums is what differentiates a consistent artist from a momentary talent. You can always strike lightning in a bottle, but can you do it twice? Marshall Mathers LP was the stamp that solidified Eminem as a legit rapper and not just a ploy of redemption for Dre and a money grab for M. And let me just say that the record Kim, as disturbing as it was, put the world on notice that M had no boundaries when it came to creativity and grievous lyrics. The goal was to shock listeners into outrage or terrifying curiosity. Either will work to sell records and to gain attention needed to propel Eminem into the list of household names. This is one of the greatest albums of all time. Coming in at number 4, Encore, released November 2004. Minus the skits, out of 19 tracks, 15 was bangers. That's 79% of the album. And the bangers are Evil Deeds, Never Enough, Yellow Brick Road, Like Toy Soldiers, Mosh, Puke, Rain Man, Big Weenie, Just Lose It, Ass Like That, Spend Some Time, Mockingbird, Encore, We As Americans, Ricky Tikki Tok. And my standout track is Spend Some Time. This album features a bonus CD with 3 bonus songs to make a total of 23 tracks. Critically acclaimed to be Eminem's worst album in terms of quality hit records, I believe that this album is placed at the bottom because it is a great album. It just wasn't the Slim Shady LP or the Marshall Mathers LP. And that's unfortunate because it was taken for granted. There's no shortage of substance, there's a clear message, the lyrical capability is there. I think what sets this album apart as mediocre would be M dug up some bones in this album that most listeners would probably miss. For instance, on the track Yellow Brick Road.
So let's go back, follow the yellow brick road as we go on another episode.
M mentions going through a period of anger towards the black culture.
All I remember is meeting back at Mannix's basement, saying how we hate this, how racist, but dope, the X-Clans take this.
He then mentions a record called Foolish Pride.
And there was this black girl at our school who thought I was cool, but she dumped me for this black guy, and that's the last I spoke to the old Foolish Pride girl.
The aforementioned track was a song that was recorded by M in 1989.
Blacks and whites sometimes mix, but black girls only want your money because of dumb chicks.
The lyrics coincidentally were weaponized against Shady when current rival Benzino did a press release outing him to the public.
In their press release, Benzino and Maze announced they would be playing a tape of Eminem rapping racist lyrics.
We can say that what's on this tape, the tape that 3 white kids from Detroit walked into Dave's office, brought and said, listen, this is the real Eminem and we're tired of it.
Eminem claimed he had made the tape out of anger, stupidity, and frustration after breaking up with an African-American girlfriend. Although the scandalous nature of Eminem's lyrics have given Benzino and the Source a newfound support for their claims.
Yellow Brick Road was an acknowledgement of his hurtful words, although slightly taken out of context, given that he was addressing the way the culture was split when X-Clan debuted, and an apology to the girl mentioned in Foolish Pride. Another buried fossil was a specific name that was censored on this album.
I went through my whole career without ever mentioning it. That was just out of respect for not running my mouth.
For those who don't know, the name was Suge, as in Suge Knight. Dre had an ongoing beef that eventually engulfed Eminem himself.
He came with the 50 Mexicans and M was out there. M didn't back down. They said niggas came outside.
We were shooting in the club video. Shit, somebody said, Suge Knight here. Suge came in with 30 Mexicans, like you said.
Flying in at number 3, Slim Shady LP, released February '99. Minus the skits, out of 14 tracks, 13 was bangers. That's 92% of the album. And the bangers are My Name Is, Guilty Conscience, Brain Damage, If I Had, 97 Bonnie and Clyde, Role Model, My Fault, Come On Everybody, Rock Bottom, Just Don't Give a Fuck, As the World Turns, Bad Meets Evil, Still Don't Give a Fuck. And my standout track is Brain Damage.
Ever since the day I was born, drugs what they used to say I was on. They say I never knew which way I was going.
M and Dr. Dre collectively created a character to break into the industry.
There's a Slim Shady that exists in all of us. You know, everybody's got their nice side, their mean side, their calm side, their wild side. When they feel like being wild, or they're pushed to a certain extent.
See, there's a stigma with white rappers, and there needed to be an angle. Dre and M teamed together for an ingenious plan. Infinite is cringe as f*** once you compare it to this album because of the paragon in personality and antics.
You can be king, you can rule the world. that, then I choke you again. And break your fucking legs till your bones poke to your skin.
M turned heel for his official debut, and he explains why on the record Rock Bottom.
But it's the evil that made me, this backstabbing, deceitful, and shady.
Let's make no mistake, this is one of the greatest albums of all time. We getting down to the wire, man, to revealing Eminem's greatest album of all time. But first, let's get to number 2, Relapse, released May 2009. Minus the skits, out of 15 tracks, 15 was bangers. That's 100% of the album. And the bangers are 3 AM, My Mom, Insane, Bagpipes from Baghdad, Hello, Same Song and Dance, We Made You, Medicine Ball, Stay Wide Awake, Old Time's Sake, Must Be the Ganja, Deja Vu, Beautiful, Crack a Bottle, Underground. And my standout track is Underground.
Crushing my heart, taco. Here comes the rain and thunder now.
Let's go ahead and throw up the caution right now. I am biased in this rating regarding this album. It is one of my personal favorites, so be prepared.
Go fuck yourself.
On this collection, Eminem revives Slim Shady and drops his most lyrical album to date. Second to Infinite, with bold accents, grotesque bars, and mythical plots.
Should I cut off one of my ears and mail it to her? Send the pictures of my collection of skeletons. I've seen my target, put my car in park and approach a tender. Young girl by the name of Brenda, and I pretend to befriend her.
It's an abstract album of horror and twisted thoughts associated with a hypothetical yet quite literal setback of drugs and alcohol binges.
Wow, man, what's an ensemble? What's an assortment of pharmaceuticals? This beautiful pill dust in my palm. Knapsack packed with like 40-some Xanaxes. Short they come back. I'm trying to score me some lap dances. I'm about to relapse, so baby, pour me some Jack Daniels.
It's time to reveal Eminem's greatest album of all time. Coming in at number 1, The Eminem Show, released May 2002. And minus the skits, out of 15 tracks, 15 was bangers. That's 100% of the album. And the bangers are White America, Business, Cleaning Out My Closet, Square Dance, Soldier, Say Goodbye to Hollywood, Drips, Without Me, Sing for the Moment, Superman, Haley's Song, When the Music Stops, Say What You Say, Till I Collapse, My Dad's Gone Crazy. And my standout track is Say Goodbye to Hollywood.
Sing goodbye to Hollywood. I thought I had it all figured out. I did. I thought I was tough enough to stick it out with Kim.
This was a vulnerable album for M. If I had to guess, his attitude going into this third solo project was all business. Enough with the antics and talking about trendy topics and shock factors. It was time to talk about some he wanted to talk about. Things that's been eating at him, and man, did he bring the heat on this one.
Flames.
On White America, M explains his disposition entering the industry.
But Shady's cute, Shady knew Shady's dimples would help.
He recognizes that being white and attractive launched his stardom and points out the irony in the struggle to get attention prior to Dre, because he was in fact white.
Let's do the math. If I was black, I would have sold half.
The hypocrisy is something I recognize heavily. When Shady was underground, nobody cared about some white boy in some town trying to spit, but once he got some attention, everybody is drawn to him for the same reason. And just to clarify, this is one of the greatest albums of all time. No matter how you feel about Eminem, the talent is absolutely undeniable. Not only is Eminem one of the greatest lyricists of all time, he produced a lot of his own records along with D12,
I take a couple lovers, I down a couple downers, but nothing compared.
50 Cent,
Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my dog and I can't see.
and even Tupac's post-death project. I will say, my perspective has changed on Eminem in regards to the antics and persona. After listening to Infinite, Dre made such an impact on Eminem that it caused a shift in personality. In fact, I can't determine whether Slim Shady lived inside of Marshall or if it was awakened once he went under Dre's guidance. Marshall made his debut as Slim Shady, an alter ego created by M and Dre, and spawned from Dre's frustration with the lack of respect from his peers in the industry and M's bitterness towards a failed rap career up until that point, and the uncomfortable reality that he was not going to be accepted in hip-hop. He shook the world with his raunchy, hardcore style, leaving the world no choice but to recognize that all faculties were intact. Each album after, starting with the Marshall Mathers LP, would slowly steer away from the shock value as we got to the core of who Marshall was as a human being. However, that rebuilding process of peeling back layers revealed that Marshall had been shading Eminem for so long that he had to find out who he really was in the first place. Slim Shady is the black sheep, Eminem's a product of the industry, and Marshall's the man behind the mic. Whatever you choose to call him, he's top 5, dead or alive. It's Ross and 2K. I'm out.